Hello everyone, welcome back to the Pearl Atelier. Today I thought I wanted to share with you my latest haul. I recently went back to my favorite vintage store, and as you can see, the biggest purchase that I have is the Silkscreen behind me. I've always wanted to have one, and after decades and decades of patiently waiting, that's why they say good things comes to those who are patient. I finally got one. So I was going there to pick up the things that I got online, because they do have an online shop as well. And then when I went there, I'm so glad I dropped by, because they always have new things coming in, especially, and I love antiques, as you know. So this one is a silk screen. It's 4-paneled. At first I didn't think it was silk screen, and then when I did a close-up of this to incorporate into this video, I realized it is a silk screen. It has that silk screen lining around the edges, which is typical of the period between 1950s right up to the 1980s, where they are using the signature mossy green silk material all around it, together with some patterns on it. So it is very chinoiserie. It features some fabulous peonies, which are in different shades. You have got the white, the pinks, the reds, and it's even got some sakura flowers on it, and it has got 2 pairs of butterflies on this other side, and you have the signature of the artist here with the red ink and with the Chinese character saying something like the butterflies fluttering around in the garden and having a good time in the garden. So if you know that in the Chinese culture, the butterfly signifies social status, and I honestly think the term social butterfly comes from this. And especially amongst the Chinese, if you collect family rose, you can see it's always incorporated. Butterflies and peonies are always incorporated into like porcelain ware. Amongst the peonies in the past, especially during the imperial time, peonies were a very expensive flower to have, and it's always grown in the palace, and it signifies and is supposed to represent and symbolize the empress herself. So it is supposed to be a magnificent flower associated very closely to the imperial royal family, especially the empress. So when you have the butterflies fluttering amongst the peonies, it is signifying social status, mixing around in very luxurious surroundings. And as you know, the Chinese, they always like to have all these sort of luxurious and prosperous saying and sceneries, so that hopefully it will bring you good luck. For me, I always love anything antique because it's so beautifully done. A thing of beauty is a joy forever. You can really elevate your surroundings if you have a beautiful piece of furniture. And then I was browsing around and I saw some absolutely fabulous lacquerware. So if you have been following my channel, you know I love collecting jewelry boxes. So lacquerware is a great way of using them as a storage space. Why not? If you are storing things, store it in a beautiful container. So the first one that I'm showcasing is the simplest one of all. So this one is a lacquerware, 3-layer lacquerware with some sakura flowers on it. You can see the patterns is on every facet of the box. It's a 3-tier footed, and when you open it up inside, it has the classic red coating inside. So this one would have been used as a bento box or something to display food in the past, but obviously I'm collecting it so that I can store my jewelry or my hair clips collection. And then the next one that I saw is this black one with gold leaf on it. You can see the gold leaf is all around it. It's in a hexagonal shape, and it's got the sakura flowers with the gold leaf on it. Absolutely fabulous. And when I got it, it was unused, because when you open up on the second tier, you can see the paper is still there, and it's got some different layers of compartments here, and if you don't want the separate compartments, you can even remove it. So that is exactly why I love collecting Japanese lacquerware. It is so well made. And then the next one that I have is this one. It is still in its box. So I actually saw this in the online shop, but it didn't really register as being absolutely fabulous until I saw it for real. So I'm really glad I dropped by the shop. You can see it is using gold leaf. It's got 3 cranes flying, and it is in a red background, and you know I love the color red in my jewelry containers, and it is extremely thick, absolutely very heavy. And then I have the piece de resistance. I put it in a sort of a casing to protect it. So you can see it is absolutely gorgeous. It's got tassels on it. You can see how huge it is. I purposely am doing this this way as well, so that you can see how large it is. I'm very petite, so you can see also it has a unique brass detail on the side that's holding up the tassels, and it has the gold leaf in front. And the tassel, one of the tassel when I bought it was in a very bad ragged condition, and I actually washed it and combed it, and then it was back to pristine condition as well. And the most fabulous thing about it is the inside of the box. It's got some sort of ridges in it, like some kind of imprint that reminds you of the fingerprint imprint inside it. It has such a luxurious material inside it, which I've never seen, because usually lacquerware comes with a red lacquer inside. And then as I was walking around, I saw this, and I think nobody picked it up because the container itself was very like not in a very good condition, but I recognized immediately what was inside. So it is, the doll itself is still in a very pristine condition because it came in the container, and as you can see, it is a Bradley doll. It is absolutely fabulous. You can see the coloring of it is still very pristine and as bright as it was made yesterday. It is in a shocking pink color. She's wearing a pair of red ballet shoes, and it says French doll. So Bradley dolls have always been very close to my heart, because growing up my mom had a huge Bradley doll, or they call it the big-eyed doll, which were made in Korea as well as Japan. I think it's 2 feet high Bradley Korean doll in a glass case. So that have always been in my mind, and that's why I was drawn to it. I was thinking, how am I going to get it, because I can only get it online. So I'm very thankful. That is why I love this vintage shop so much. I also came across this, and I think people weren't attracted to it, because when you open it, it was displayed like this. People didn't realize what it was. However, when you open it up, oh no, it has the gold leaf, and it is gold in color. So this would be the perfect display for dolls and things like that. Since I do have my own silk screen, I thought my dolls would have one as well. And then I've got a couple of new toys to add to my collection. So one is this adorable Peter Rabbit with the blue coat. It is an original Beatrix Potter, so I couldn't resist it, as well as this very well made teddy bear. It looks like a cloth, but it's actually porcelain. And then who could resist Snoopy? So I've got this Snoopy, a tiny keychain, which I have quite a few collection of keychain soft toys. And then I've got this Snoopy pouch. I love anything to do with Snoopy. Look how adorable they are. Snoopy is wearing a number 10 t-shirt and holding a football. And this is Snoopy and Woodstock. It is an original. And at the back you've got Snoopy sleeping. I also picked up this, which is a very unusual item. I'm not sure whether it was housing a scissors or pen or something, but I felt it was so beautifully done. And I also got this lacquerware. You know how much I love lacquerware. This is actually cinnabar, and you can see the etchings on it. I cannot imagine how many hours and what sort of a master craftsman it would take to carve something like this. It is absolutely fabulous. It's got peonies and it's got leaves, and you can see every single etching of every single petal done, and there's some ridges at the bottom of it. So it is absolutely fabulous. I'm so glad I'm able to get this so I can use it as a pen container, because it matches together with my other cinnabar container. And if you've missed that, I'll be linking that video towards the end. And finally, to close off this video, how could you resist this? When I saw this, I knew this was coming home with me. It really reminds me of my childhood. They were selling glue in this form, and I remember they had blue color as well as a red color, but this one someone really took the time to do sort of like a art project on the top of the cap. It really brings a smile to my face. It reminds me of my childhood when I was so extremely happy. So looking at all the things, I hope that I have not missed out anything, because sometimes when I do a haul and then I realize at the end of it that I missed one or two things. And if you have noticed, I'm wearing my lavender jade earrings. So if you are interested to know more about it, I've done a video on it, and I'll be linking that video towards the end. So thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you again in my next video. This is Eileen from the Pearl Atelier, wishing you a fabulous week ahead.